A girl approaches you and says, "Pretend we're friends. I'm being followed. What would you do?" Pretend we're friends, but not follow her to a second location. That seems like a good way to lose a kidney. Street smarts. You want the money? Throws money clip, go get it. You can pick one up at any haberdashery. Happened to me in Chicago a few years back. My fiancé and I owned a little clothing shop in a pretty nice area, not that it helped us anyhow, and a woman who was pushing a stroller walked up to me and put her arm in mine and whispered, "Please walk with me." She discreetly pointed to a pretty sketchy looking dude down the alley. He had been following her for a few blocks. She told me she's seen him before and she's very worried he wanted her purse or worse. So I walked her to the Starbucks 2 blocks down where she was meeting a group of friends. The guy stopped following when he saw she was with a dude. I'm not huge by any means, but I'm 6 feet 1 inch, so at least there's that. I was just so glad it worked. Poor woman can't imagine that fear, especially when you've got a newborn with you. This happened to me about 3 years ago. I was in Home Depot and a young woman, about half my age, walked up to me with a guy right on her shoulder babbling about something, and she said, "Uncle Steve, I didn't think I'd see you until Mom's birthday party." I looked at her a little confused, but she made a "help me" face, and so I said, "Well, you're in town already. This is a fun surprise. You wanna shop together? We can talk a little while we get our stuff." She gave the kind of look I expect Superman gets when he plucks somebody from a burning building. Creepy guy was still there, so I made my voice a little gruff and said, "Do you need something?" He said no and went away. We shopped and got our stuff, checked out. I walked her to her car and watched while she drove away. Dude, you need an Uncle Steve flare on this sub. Up voting for this to happen. I vote Uncle Steve flare. Actually happened to me once. Girl approached my wife and me at a bar and asked if I could pretend to be her brother. Some guy was creeping her out. I was just like, "Hey, there you are. Didn't you see us sitting here?" Dude left. Actually happened to me once. Same. I was at a party at the keg getting a refill and a girl came up to me and asked me if she could hang out with me as there was some guy creeping on her. I said sure, and we talked for a half hour until the guy left. You guys are the best. Thank you. If I'm here in Canada, I will do my best to help her. If I was in Bogota where I used to live, I would assume it's most likely a scam to rob me, so I'll split my energy. 80% escape / 20% assess if she is really in danger. I live in South America and this reply felt too close, lol. Same. 2F real. Why can't we all just get along? Is it food, housing and mental health? I dunno. It feels like a dystopic law of the jungle kind of place, at least here in Lima. My father's friend used to call it the country of plains, because when someone tries to arise from the situation, everyone would try to take them back down. Thus you find only flat plains and no mountains, metaphorically speaking. Oh man, I remember being at a bar and telling this guy I had a boyfriend and still getting harassed. Dude was all up in my personal space, like, right up in it, and some big Viking looking dude put his arm around me, looks the dude in the eye, and goes, "I'm the boyfriend." He was left alone for the rest of the night, haha. I don't know who you are, big Viking dude, because you disappeared into the night, but I hope you're living your best life. Big Vikings dude look scary, but they are usually so nice and soft when you know them. It's a blessing. This is also my experience of big scary bikers or Viking guys. I know a guy who did some serious secretive stuff in one of the forces. I don't know anything about it other than it was the forces and to disclose his service history. He had to get some high up forces people involved to vouch for purely service years, and he looks terrifying. Huge solid guy, bald head, beard, a skull in his front window etc. Actually a biker, nicest guy in the world, would break his back to help me out, and I always feel safe around him. I wish I knew one. Pretend we're friends, while deploying all sensors to figure out if I'm the one being scammed. Then it's a matter of information gathering and remedial action. Deploying all sensors is key. Fuck. What if you're somewhere in the autism spectrum and your sensors are damaged / faulty? Pretend we're friends. The instructions were quite clear. I understood the assignment. This actually happened to me in the autumn. A girl sat next to me on the train because a creep was following her. It was funny because I think I looked like a creep. Agreed. I mean, the girl had to choose between the creep following her and the creep she was sure she could beat in a fight. She made the right choice. R/rare insults. Yeah, definitely uncalled for. The guy has already committed r/suicide would have some damn respect lol. Happened to me, or close to it. She wasn't being followed, but a creepy person was trying to intoxicate her in a packed bar. I noticed, approached her and said, "Oh hi, long time no see. How are you doing?" I've never seen her before. She immediately reacted and started chatting with me. After a while the person tried to pull her back saying, "Hey, she's with me." And I was like, "Oh not right now dude. We haven't seen each other for a long time." We ended up dating. That's a really cute story. Are you two still together? Thanks. Unfortunately not due to some things outside our control. We remain incredibly great friends to this day though. Still a happy ending. I'll take it. Definitely. Was a pretty great story overall. I'll do my best to help, but I'm keeping a close eye on her. Could always be a setup for a robbery or pickpocketing. Oh okay. Lem help. How about we step into this wide open space with several witnesses? Friend. This. Or I would be like, alright, let's step into this store right here and call 911. I'll wait with you until they arrive. Depending on which part of the world and how desperate some shady individuals can get there, may even be a scheme to get you to take out your phone. I've had a couple of encounters where they asked me for the time and something ticked in my head and I noped out. Realized later they were trying to check if I had a phone they could steal. Was a few years before phones were ubiquitous. I still wear a watch. It's a $30 Timex Exp I got from Walmart. I put a dollar store button compass on it. Kick-ass watch. Start a public live stream with my new friend and try and capture all PPL that are around us and talk loudly about our surroundings and all that. This is great. That way, if she's a honeypot, you have everybody on live stream. If she's not, you get the perp on live stream. And if you post it in Reddit, you'll get Reddit gold. Take my clothes off and chase after the guy following her. I know it's hard to believe, but I literally saw a guy doing this once. I was going back home at night and I saw two men arguing loudly. Then this dude got even louder as he took his clothes off. He then proceeded on his totally naked chase, flying balls and everything, while his adversary ran away funny as F. But I couldn't even tape it as he noticed me, and it became scary fairly quickly. Honestly, one of the few things most people are scared of more than violence is insanity. One, my parents' friends, an older woman, had the extreme misfortune to get caught up in an anti-US riot in one of the countries she was visiting right as she was on her way back from buying some new socks. Apparently she saw the rioters start to come in through the doors of the shopping area and start up the escalator to the second floor where she was at. So she quick hunched over, ripped open the package of socks and just started, like, inhaling them while growling like a dog. To quote her words, "It was like I was parting the sea." They just took one look at this crazy old lady slobbering on a package of socks and gave me plenty of space as I went down the escalator and out through the same doors they were coming in. Stay in a busy public area. She could also be trying to scam you somehow. Don't see how that situation could be a scam, comma, as long as you know your boundaries you should be good. Pretend we are friends. Adjust body language to express that we know each other. Stay with her to make sure she is safe, but control the situation. Do not let her guide you somewhere. Keep it public. Hope for the best and prepare for the worst. She could be in real danger, but so could you, and she is in on it. Last thing you want is to try and do the right thing only for her to be in on it and get ambushed. Not letting her guide you somewhere is super important. As shitty as the world is, there are definitely people willing to take advantage of all the people who would help someone in this situation. Engage in conversation. Take mental notes of where we are and get a description of the person they are referencing. From there, try to direct us to some place public with security. Don't forget to guard yourself in this situation. Cover your wallet. Watch the girl too, as she may really be the threat. Get to an officer or public place quickly. You can protect yourself and everyone else without assuming anyone's role. Everyone in a situation like this a threat until you're out of it. This right here is the real answer. Pretend that we are friends, then take her to a busy restaurant/store and stay with her there until she contacts her boyfriend or husband or friend. And I wait with her until they come. I like this solution. It protects both of you. Help a sister out. Been in a similar situation before. I was going home when I seen two teenage girls walking. Behind them was two grown men on push bikes, wolf whistling to them and cat calling. I asked the girls if they wanted me to walk with them until they got where they were going. Men disappeared and one of the girls' parents then accused me of hanging around with teenagers until their daughter stepped up and said what was happening. Her dad then wrapped his arms around me and said, "What a man. Thank you for being a great bloke. Sounds like a good parent," because he questioned you being with teenagers, and decent human being for believing the daughter and giving you the props you deserve. Exactly what she said. But also don't walk down any dark alleys with her. I've been in this situation before. She sat down next to me at the bar and started talking like we were old friends. I was confused at first, but then noticed she kept looking over my shoulder and figured it out pretty quick. We talked for a few minutes before she visibly relaxed and informed me what was going on. Dude was being super aggressive with her at another bar and she left, but he followed her. So she ducked into this one to get away, but he followed her in. He came back about 10 minutes later, but by that time the rest of the guys from my platoon and some townies we were friends with were around, and I had briefed them on the situation. When they walked in, about a quarter of the bar turned to stare at them, and they quickly left, and then everyone clapped. Ain't it a bee when you have one of these moments? But no one can believe your story because of the vast quantity of bullshit online. Act like a fabulous gay friend hit on the stalker. Worst case scenario is you'll have plans for the weekend. What if we fall in love? Then you have one hell of a meet cute story, but it's no homo, right? One time in a bar years back, a girl came up behind me and said urgently, "Pretend to be my boyfriend, please." I see an angry guy shoving his way through the crowd towards us. I causally put my arm over her shoulder and made eye contact with him. She was trembling violently. He slowed a bit. I'm 6'4", 240. I just glared at him. We are standing at the bar. He's approaching from behind. She's on my left staring straight ahead, with her back to him. I'm looking at him over my left shoulder. I kinda growled what at him as he stopped. He mumbled something I couldn't hear over the music, and cleared off. After a minute, she stopped shaking, said thanks, and left. And that was it. Yes, that happened, but this is an occasional part of being tall and big. More often though, you just get asked to lift heavy stuff, grab things from the top shelf, and stand in the back for every photo. Here's my rant. Because this is pretty common in UK bars, there is a scheme that was never widely publicized known as Ask for Alice. Simple code word that bartenders should know. Both times I've seen it happen, it never went smoothly. Yeah. No one called Alice works here. You're not getting discount now, pick a drink or go away. One time it was me who stepped in and took the girl into the staff areas behind the bar. Second time it was the woman who owned the bar I was working in back then. Those are the only times in close to 10 years serving that I saw anyone use it, and both times it almost fell flat. Pretend we are friends and call the cops so we both don't get murdered and I end up on somebody's pandemic boredom true crime podcast. This happened to me in Vegas. It was wild. Two girls walked up to me and a friend of mine at a bar with a creepy older guy hovering behind them. They started talking to us as if our parties were together. I was so confused but caught on and awkwardly asked if they wanted to go get another round at the bar before realizing their drinks were full. I joking grabbed one of their cocktails and downed it to give us an excuse to go. It was one of the last things I remember from that night. The guy had roofied her drink. I'm not a small dude, easily had the girl by 70 pounds, and within 30 minutes, I'm told, went sideways for me. Before I lost track of everything, I distinctly remember him watching us, like he was waiting for something. To this day I'm grateful I picked her drink. Sorry for laughing, but you tried saving them, but also got roofied yourself. Hope everything went alright with you and the girls. Haha, yeah, I was totally fine after. I basically time traveled to my hotel the next morning. My friends had to babysit me that night, but since no one got hurt it was more funny than anything. Talk, friends talk, right? I'm not sure though. Hang on, let me search Google real quick. Listen to your spidey sense and make sure you aren't being set up. If you are pretty sure it's the real deal then play along and help. Ah, great. I've been looking for you. We've been trying to reach you about your car's extended warranty. Apostrophe. I would immediately stop walking while I stare down at the ground. Smirking. I'd spin around, my trench coat dancing in the wind. Unsheath my katana that's attached at my hip as the sunlight gleams off of the blade that I've studied for so long. I make eye contact with the imposter following Mladdy. As I tip my trilby in his direction I let out a hearty yell. You've made a mistake coming here, kid. Charging him, I watch his demeanor change from confident to afraid. I run my blade through him, and as he collapses whisper, nothing personal, kid. I return to Mladdy, and she thanks me for saving her life. We get married and have children. The end. That's how the guys here daydream about that questions. Finally, I give her the whole story of my ex and me, and look for validation, that I was the good guy, that did no wrong, and that I'm better off without her, and she's only going to be an anchor to the next guy and I can meet someone so much better that understands my unique needs, and is able to give a little, and hold off on all the goddamn dinner parties, and not be so selfish and me all the time who won't vacuum up all my energy like some kind of turbo powered Dyson succubus pro on high and screw you Becca you didn't deserve me like at all. You good. Lol. All good. Thanks for checking.